Mike Comtech coming to you with another video. Made a quick little prop out of the Home Depot LCD eyes, and then a little wooden box from, not really a box, it's open on the back, and I'll show you. This is from Walmart. It's in the craft section. You can get those, all that wood stuff that they have. And this is probably the one that about the size of a clock. You can make a nice clock out of that. But it's a square frame, and it's kind of a balsa wood on the top, so it's really easy to cut. So then I cut my holes for my LCD eyes that go through, printed it out, put a little caution tape here on the inside to finish that out. You know, caution, stay away from Frankenstein. He's dangerous. But anyway, I want to show you the back. And if you noticed here, as I've been talking, the eyes are changing all by themselves because the Home Depot LCD upgrade eyes for the Scully, they have 8 different eye patterns. So then I put a timer circuit in there to every 60 seconds go through and change to the next set of eyes. So we should be getting the next change here coming up here when that timer hits 0. Then we'll get another change here. But in the meantime, I want to have it changed before I go turning it over, so I can show you. But it changed to the heart right after those. I think those were the cat eyes, I believe, something like that was on there before. Should be getting close. We'll get a click and then it'll change. All right, so now it went to the fireworks. So it'll just keep cycling all through all 8 of those. So then I'll show you the back here on what it looks like. Let me turn this around. So everything in here runs on 5 volts. Definitely the most common voltage is, like I said, 5 volts. These program timers are highly programmable. They've got several routines running here. I'm running program 3.2 because I'm running this without any kind of a trigger over here. So this is just going to run a routine. Countdown 60 seconds. The relay is open right now. The coil is not energized. And I want to close the contacts on this coil. I want to close the contacts on the relay for 1 second. And that's just long enough. Here it comes. That's just long enough to change the pattern on the LCD eyes. So like now we're at the blue eye now. So if you ever want to check your program, then you hit your up button once and you can check it. Program 3.2, open for 1 second, close for 60. Loop infinitely with the 3 dashes. You set that 3 dashes across the digital readout. This will run the program infinitely. It won't run it for several times and then shut off, or it won't run a loop for 5 and then shut down. It runs it constantly. So that's what it asks you. But if you were paying attention, if I went to up and I looked at that program and it says open for 1 second, close for 60. The LED is only energized when that coil on this relay is flipped down. And that right there, it ignored it because I was showing the program, so then it won't run until it'll reset it now. So anyway, it's just the opposite. So when this thing says OP, that means closed. When it says CL for closed, it means it's open. So that threw me for a while. I was like, what the heck? But anyway, because I'm calling it, if it's in closed, that means this relay is energized, pulling your common to normally open together. But no, that's not the case. It's just the opposite. If they're looking at the normally closed, well, yeah, you could say that. But for me, when I say closed on a relay, that means when this thing's energized. And then the normally open contacts flip down to or the normally closed flip down to the normally open. But these things are highly programmable. They can take triggers here on the input. There is a opto-isolator right here that isolates the trigger input from the rest of this circuit, so you don't have to worry about any kind of interaction. That's very common. That's very nice to have. And then So basically what this is doing, it runs 60 seconds. That relay is open. And then when it gets to 0, that closes the relay. And then what you do is you use the white barrel connector. The white barrel connector here is what you would actually, click on the included button with the eyes to change the patterns on the eyes. So that's what it's doing. So it's going to run through all 8 patterns automatically when the timer is, and if you don't want it to run, then actually there's nothing you have to unhook. All you have to do is just reach in here and hit the stop button, and that will stop the routine. It'll still count down, just like that. It'll still count down, but if I hit stop, it'll say it'll say STO in here, and it'll still count down, but it won't energize the relay after the 60 seconds, what I have it set to. Hit that button one more time. It turns back turns on the relays program, and it resumes, and it runs as normal. It's pretty, but you gotta really mull through the the operating instructions. There's some videos on YouTube, but that open and close thing is, like I said, it's just the opposite. But once you learn how to program this thing, it's super versatile, because there's, like I said, there's several programs options, and that you can pick through. But the 3.2 works for me because this thing sits here and runs on its own. And then I had to center these 2 on the eyes just right in the front. So that's the tricky part. And then I just hot glued around the perimeter here, right through here. It's right along here. Just kind of hit all sides and locks them in there once you get your holes put in here. But this is kind of a balsa wood, so it's easy to cut with an X-Acto knife. You can just trace it out, cut with the X-Acto knife, kind of score it a little bit. Then you can plunge the knife down through there, and it'll cut real easy. You don't have to worry about using a saw or something to cut that out. You can just use a very, very sharp X-Acto knife, and it'll work fantastic. And then that, like I said, the little wooden box came from Walmart, and then I printed that out, of course, and then put that on here. But yeah, it's just a quick little easy way to make a prop and make some use out of your LCD eyes from the Home Depot. And $40 you can't go wrong. Let's see, no, $30 you can't go wrong on those eyes, really. And they're very bright, and they have a very good, like I said in one of the other videos, they have good viewing angle. So they're an IPS display, I would imagine. That wouldn't be a twisted pneumatic display in there. And then of course they come with a remote. So if you want to, you shut them off. Okay, turn it off. Now the timer is going to keep running. It's no big deal if it does. It won't hurt anything. And then you hit your button again and turn it back on. And this is a RF remote. This is not an infrared remote. So you don't have to point it right at, the eye or whatever. You can be clear across the room in your pocket, and it will change it. Or I can manually change it by hitting this button right here to cycle through the different eye patterns. So pretty neat, and it works really well. And he looks pretty ominous right there. And then, like I said, sometimes the camera doesn't do it justice, but it does look good. And it was easy to put together because everything's open in the back. You don't have to wrestle like I did in that Tractor Supply skull. I had to cut an access panel behind the skull to get my big hands in there, and that took a while to do. That really did. And then, but once I got everything locked in, but here you're wide open. So as always, thank you for watching my videos. I will talk to everybody later.